What's going on, everybody? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Friday, May 3rd, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Happy Friday. Hope you guys had a great week. It's good to be here with all of you. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment, say what's up. All the links to all of my social media platforms are in the description of this video, along with my Jupiter-Uranus conjunction and Taurus reading sale, which is available on my booking website, which you will find the link to in the description of this video with all of the other links. So, this moon in Pisces, is deep and intense and, unsettling as this Pluto going retrograde can feel. There's a sense of comfort in the chaos today with this moon in Pisces. And I think there could be some really amazing insights and conversations that can really flow in a way that we haven't felt in a while. The energy has been lightening up slowly over the past week. With Pluto going retrograde, there is this layer of tension. And with the moon in Aquarius the past few days, there's been a lot of tension. So the tension today is starting to ease up with this moon in Pisces. And right away, there's going to be a great aspect from this moon to the sun. This moon in Pisces sextiling the sun in Taurus right before the moon will make its conjunction with Saturn. So I think there can be a lot of amazing connections and connectivity between our partnerships, and this heightened awareness of the people around us, where we are seeing the people in our lives and their value in a much more beautiful, positive way that we may have not been able to see before, right? And definitely being able to see the people around us that we're connected to, or we have a very deep spiritual connection with, because it's moon in Pisces and conjunct Saturn, sextiling the sun in Taurus. That's what it's about. It's a spiritual connection and the sharing of values of where we are spiritually connected. And I think there can be a realization of the relationships and the connections and the spiritual connections that hold high value, that are really sticking with us for the long haul, right? So the things that are going to be with us, especially through this Saturn and Pisces transit, and the people that we're with and we're connected to, we're feeling this sense of strength and longevity and comfort and support from whatever kind of spiritual deep connections that we have been developing really through the first half of this year. And with this moon conjunct Saturn, there can be, a sense of strength and a bit of heaviness as well. But also, this is giving us the opportunity to really, look at where we've overlooked things, where we haven't, really paid attention to. And I think it's really coming from other people of where we need to have a more heightened awareness. This moon in Pisces is very sensitive. There's high sensitivity today, but also this sense of connectedness to the people, where our spiritual connections are very strong, and the value of that and the strength of that. In this Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, there's this underlying sense of unsettling tension, right? So where things are disconnected, or where relationships are disconnected, or the people that you're disconnected to, it's just like, being able to separate yourself from that and focus on where the value and where the real deep connections really lie, and where they're spiritually connected are the ones that are going to be evolving through this Taurus season. Like Venus is in Taurus and it's ruler. The sun's in Taurus. Venus is dispositing the sun, Uranus, and Jupiter, right? Venus is exalted in Pisces. So with this moon giving a lot of great support to the sun today, and Uranus and Jupiter, from today to tomorrow, and definitely when it conjuncts Saturn, it's just like, okay, like I know exactly what I want to grow and build long term, and I know what I want to grow and build long term on a spiritual level, because if it's not of some spiritual connection or some divine connection or something that came through in some sort of way that you couldn't explain or you couldn't control, those are the things that are going to really grow and manifest and really stay with us for a long period of time. Those are the connections and the relationships and the feelings and the vibrations that are being imprinted for the long haul. Right? And that's what this Moon Saturn today is really kind of giving us some insight into. But this Pluto retrograde too, I mean, there's still like this kind of new frequency of unconscious awareness, right? So with this moon in Pisces, conjunct Saturn, and Pluto retrograding in Aquarius, it's like our unconscious and our subconscious are super active, right? Our subconscious is where the synchronicities come through, right? The unconscious is where we project the things that are kind of, more on the, I don't want to say negative side, right? But when we're talking about Pluto retrograde, it's the darker things. It's the more underlying issues, right? So these underlying kind of issues are coming to the surface, right? But with our subconscious being so active, it's like we can really find unique and creative, beautiful ways to deal with them, and with Mercury getting ready to make its final conjunction with Chiron, it's really connected to where we haven't been able to complete or follow through, and now it's like we're getting closer to understanding what this whole Chiron experience has been. So at the end of the day, especially by today, I mean, this moon is going to make great aspects to the sun, Uranus, and Jupiter going into tomorrow. It's like, wow. There can be some exciting revelations that are coming from some synchronistic spiritual place that can really throw us into uncharted territory on a level of manifestation. So I think focusing on the beautiful things and not focusing on the more negative things today, where this Pluto's all by itself, right? There's so much energy happening here in Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. All of this area, right? So when it comes to our spirituality, our subconscious, our individuality, our unique identity, our values, our security, and what we want to manifest and what we want to grow and the seeds that we've planted. It's like all of these things have been, really making a massive transformation, right? And this Pluto is really just helping us clean out the gutters, and this Moon Saturn conjunct as well. It's helping us really clean out the gutters, the subconscious and the unconscious clutter, the gutter, the clutter, and we got to make more room. Mars is now in Aries. It really wants to take action on new things. It wants to start new things. It wants to pioneer and revolutionize, a whole new pattern here. It's been 2.5 years since Mars has been here in Aries. So when we're talking about our identity and the future we want to create and making an impact towards our future in a whole new way, a whole new paradigm, this month, and this is the moment where that is starting to take shape. So there's this dynamic of, okay, we're growing and building and manifesting and, moving in such a larger positive direction. But with this underlying frequency, with Pluto kind of here hidden all alone, it's like in the dark, in the shadows, there is some unconscious shit, that is coming to the surface, So when it comes to fear and projections and people projecting onto us, like that's going to keep amplifying, but that's also giving us the opportunity to learn new lessons, about where we want to direct our energy, the people we want to connect with, So all in all, there's a lot of support coming through here, as long as we're willing to stick to the game plan, right? If you're trying to start new things at this moment, or it's like you're trying to veer off course and ditch, the timeline and the trail that you've already left, that's not where we want to be right now. It's like the trail that we've been on and what we've been focusing on and growing, especially over the past 6 months. We can look back to last July when the nose came into Aries and through these eclipses. We're finally at this moment where the paradigm is finally shifting, where new ideas, new inventions, new energy, new sense of optimism, and this sense of like gusto and libido really coming through and ready to fucking take charge and really do things in a new way, in a different way. The old patterns are not going to be working out anymore. And tomorrow, going into the weekend, it's like the Moon Neptune conjunction happening at 29 degrees. We're going to be experiencing that a lot at this 29th degree of Pisces. It's like, this is where the same old loops and the same patterns tend to pop up. And it's like, fuck, like, where we may have thought we have overcome certain things today and tomorrow, we can experience this kind of like, oh shit, like maybe I haven't fully drawn awareness to that. Maybe I only got through half of that, right? It's like only reading half of a book. Now we can start to really see where we haven't really, fully committed. And right now in this moment in Taurus season, it's all about commitment and fully sticking to it and not moving and not budging. And no matter what comes at you, keep pushing, keep plowing, and not letting the fear with this Pluto retrograde consume you, right? Because, fear is not your friend. And, I've been seeing it a lot come up here. I got a lot of questions about my horoscope yesterday, talking about this Pluto retrograde, and that was definitely one of the more intense horoscopes I did. But it's like that's the reality of Pluto going retrograde. It's like, I said this earlier. It's like there's like two dynamics that are polarizing happening right now with this Jupiter Uranus, Venus in Taurus, the Sun, Mars in Aries. There's a lot of exalted and, planets in their ruling signs, and the moon here as well. I mean, we have Neptune in its ruler. We have Mars in its ruler. We have Venus in its ruler. We have Venus dispositing Jupiter, Uranus, the Sun. It's like, wow. And Mars dispositing Mercury. So it's like our words are fucking like, they hold a lot of weight right now, and sometimes you may not realize what you're saying or how intense you may come off, right? But it's like being able to focus on what's positive and what's beautiful with this Jupiter, Uranus, and Venus, but also like being able to face your shadow and look at your shadow in a whole different way. That's a skill. And that's where this Moon Saturn conjunction is telling us to level up today. It's like we have to like compartmentalize, and not just let everything fall into this one umbrella, which can be chaotic. Which Pisces and Neptune, it's easy to fall into that kind of thing. So let's see what the card has. We have temperance. So it's like having this balance of the flow, right? Of like, there are moments that come throughout the day when, the kind of darker things of this Pluto retrograde pop up, right? This unconscious stuff, or experiencing projections, or with Mars dispositing Mercury, it's like, people's words can be very over the top, right? And like not fully letting that consume us or take over us or pull us into this place of like, fuck, of negativity, which this Pluto retrograde can easily do, but then there's also this other part of the days where it's like, damn, like a lot of great, amazing new things, unexpected things are coming into our lives, that can increase our value, that can increase our self-worth, that can give us this whole new level of consciousness, or healing our consciousness that we've needed, or, that we've never thought we could reach, right? Like the temperance card is all about the light consciousness, right? So focusing on the dark, focusing on the negative, or letting this Pluto retrograde in Scorpio, or the fear, or the manipulation consume you, it's like we think about this too, like this Moon Saturn conjunction. Saturn is the time master, Chronos, and the more we've put emphasis or focus on what is not positive, or what is not helping us manifest or create a better future for ourselves, it's like we're wasting time. We're not going to get that time back. So allowing this Moon Saturn to really like get a better grip in reality, a sense of reality of how our time and our time management is, and how we utilize time, it can really bring us to a more lighter frequency when we use our time in a much more healthy, balanced way. The temperance card is all about balance too. Light consciousness and balance. Balancing our utilization of time and the energy that we put out, but also not fully just putting out all the energy to this South Node in Libra, which, we've dealt with a lot with Chiron and Mercury and these eclipses. It's like, we want to utilize that as much as we can for ourselves, as much as we are for the people that we're connected to and the people that we love. New relationships are forming in this time period too. New connections, new relationships, especially with Venus and Taurus and Jupiter here. It's like new relationships that are coming through are going to be expanding your life in beautiful ways, And when Jupiter comes into Gemini, it's like there's going to be new information that's going to be coming out, and new ideas and new ways to communicate. So really grabbing a hold of this Taurus season and utilizing it to our advantage to help us get through, this Pluto retrograde and Saturn going retrograde. It's like this Moon Saturn today can also like bring a sense of heaviness, but it is like, I think utilizing our time and balancing our time and how much we put out is very important. I've been struggling with that myself. It's like I'm doing, honestly, too many things right now. And that's okay. But drawing boundaries, finding balance, and sticking to the plan and not veering off course and letting the inconsistencies or the feelings of not, being secure or being unsure pull you into a different direction. It's like the things that you've been putting in and growing and evolving through this time, especially through 2024, over this next month and definitely going into June, are going to be expanding really rapidly. And once this new moon in Taurus hits on the 7th and the 8th, get ready. that's when this new cycle really begins. And that's when Venus, the sun, and the moon, and coming on with Mercury as well, it's going to be activating all the goodies with this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction as we move into Gemini season in Jupiter and Gemini. So, hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. Also, like I said yesterday, if you're in LA, I'll be playing at the Whiskey A Go-Go with my buddy Evan Nathaniel Grimm, a fellow astrologer and musician. We're going to be rocking the fuck out. So if you're in LA or in the area or you're traveling, come say what's up. We'll be there having a good ass time. So I'll see y'all for the weekend and peace out. Have a wonderful day.